guys, what is up? I'm so excited to be filming right now. One, because I just haven't filmed in a while. It's been like a little while. I've been working 11-hour days at Etsy. I'm on the email team now. Second reason that I'm super excited to film is because I finally hit 1,000 subscribers. That was just a really cool milestone for me to hit. I didn't actually think it was gonna happen. It's a whole new level. I have a comma in there now. I do just want to apologize at how disgustingly dirty my brushes are because I ended up going to see that like new XXX movie last night. We thought it was going to be like horrible funny, and it was actually quite entertaining. I mean, it was still kind of horrible funny, but I wanted my brushes to be nice and clean for today's video, but that just didn't happen, so please just excuse the disgustingness. Ew, look at those. Ugh. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to talk about in this video because I haven't mentioned it in a video that I did change my channel name to Ashen Life. It was Ashen Boots before. I feel like it fits my channel a little bit better. I'm Ash and I'm in life. I don't know. I love the name Ashen. I literally wish my name was Ashen instead of Ashley because Ashley is so common. I feel like I'm talking so fast. So yeah, I thought of Ashen Life and I decided to change it because why not? Velvet like gets so messed up so easy. There's already like little dents in it and I haven't even worn this before. I think I have every disclaimer out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my everyday work makeup. I always get up at 6 in the morning because I work at 7, so that gives you a good time frame there. I usually will get up, fix my hair. I'll shower the night before so I don't have to wake up super early because I love my sleep and I'm not a morning person. First I take my foundation, the Revlon Color Stay Buff, because it's just my favorite everyday foundation. It doesn't like cover everything. As you can see, I have a lot of acne scars, and yes, I'm one of those weirdos that puts the pump straight onto my face to do it. So I just pump it out like that, and then I take my XO Beauty brush, I almost said sponge. I just blend that in. I don't use any sort of primer on the daily basis. I feel like whenever I use one, my makeup falls apart like way sooner in the day. With this foundation anyway, it just lasts all day and it looks totally fine. I don't get super oily. I do get a little bit oily later in the day. So yeah, I basically just put this everywhere where you put foundation. I definitely don't think this like foundation makes my skin look amazing or anything, but I do like it for every day just because it still makes my skin look like my skin. I build up the coverage just on my cheeks basically because that's where all of my acne scarring is. That's kind of like part one of my foundation routine. The next thing I do is I take my concealer and put that everywhere in my T-zone just to add a little bit more coverage, brighten up my eyes obviously because they need a brightening. This is basically the makeup that I use to look decent on a daily basis. My nose does not take foundation very well, so I always just put concealer on my nose. My eyelids. Like to even out the color by putting some in the middle of my forehead, my lip, and my chin. With this Real Techniques sculpting brush, I have been using this as my actual concealer brush. Holy shit, my life has changed, I swear. I used to use the Beauty Blender, not the Beauty Blender, the XO Beauty Sponge. This XO Beauty Sponge, I love it, but I can only use it like twice before I have to wash it, and I know that sounds horrible, like you should wash it after every single use, but ain't nobody got time for that. Like, let's be real, it gets just really hard and like encrusted in the product every time I use it. I started using this brush. I don't know how I even thought of it, to be honest. I just like picked it up and started using it one day as a concealer brush and I haven't stopped. It's so nice. It gives like such a full coverage finish and it blends it in completely. It's super soft so it doesn't bug my eyes at all, and this is just perfect. I'm in love with this brush as a concealer brush. I'm just going to very gently pat this concealer into my nose because my nose hates makeup. I don't know what it is, but any product that I've ever put on my nose, it either just really accentuates my pores or it just looks like really separated and just gross basically. Okay, camera. But I've found that the Fit Me concealer with this brush combo has been amazing. Okay, so I feel like the concealer really does help with the whole coverage and the whole overall look of my skin. I actually don't set my concealer and my foundation right away. I will stop here, do my brows. Sadly, the only brow products I have right now are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Blonde and the powder of Anastasia Beverly Hills in Taupe. The pomade takes me forever to use on my brows because I like a little more natural brow. Even though it's in Blonde, it always looks really dark on my brows, so I'm really scared I'm gonna dip this into my like bronzer because I'm just using this as like a mirror, but my brow powder's over there, so I really hope I don't really mix the two. So what I do is I literally just line the bottom as you usually would do with the powder. I'm just trying to kind of darken and fill in. I almost did it. I almost dipped into the the bronzer. I just line the underneath of my brows like I usually would with any product just to establish the shape here. And I'm just using a very light hand because I'm trying to keep them looking as natural as possible, trying to enhance my natural shape and make them visible because, I mean, they're visible, but they don't look great. Make my tail a little bit longer than it is in real life. What I love about using the brow powder is it is so forgiving, especially if you wait to set your concealer and your foundation. You can just go back over it with concealer and be good to go. And I will show you guys what I'm talking about in a second if none of that made sense. By the way, this is just a little Wet n Wild angled brush. I have a blending brush from that same collection. I have the fan brush that I don't like at all. But anyways, that's what I use for my brow powder. Basically what I do to fix my brow if I make it a little bit too thick or if I just want to clean it up a little bit, I'll go back in with my concealer. Did I even say what concealer I used? The Maybelline Fit Me concealer. You probably already knew that, but I just dot it right below. Carve out my brow. Of course I'm going to set it with my L'Oreal Brow Plumper right here. I just run that through my brows. Well, brow right now. I always go through with the brow gel to give my brows that, you know, hair texture that natural brows have. Do my other brow really quick. Where is it? My translucent powder by Laura Mercier. I judged this pretty hard when I first got it and I just kind of stopped using it because I thought it was bad. But ever since I ran out of my Bye Bye Pores powder by It Cosmetics, I have been using this one and it's actually impressed me. Like, I kind of figured out the best way to use translucent powders. I always just dump the powder into the lid, but I just tap that in there, tap off all the excess. I even like hit it a couple more times because your under eyes really don't need a whole lot of powder, especially if they're dry like mine are, because that's just going to make them look creasy and kind of crepey. That's not what you want when you're wearing very minimal makeup. So I take barely any powder. I pat out the creases with my finger. I've found that when I do it with a brush, it just doesn't work the same. I'm not sure why. All I know is that when I tap it out with my finger and then immediately set it with a tiny bit of powder, my under eyes look great all day. Obviously, like my nose, lip and chin and forehead, everywhere else I put concealer isn't really going to crease up like around the eyes, so don't really need to worry about doing this anywhere else. So before I set my face, I am going to go in with the sculpting brush, my concealer brush, and just buff out any creases that may have formed in your forehead if you have a really wrinkly forehead like I do. And then I take my giant disgusting fluffy brush and set my forehead. Well, set my whole face. My forehead's the only place that I really need to buff out any creasing. And I set my whole face just because I do want it to last all day. Even though my skin doesn't get super oily, it's mostly just like the foundation being on my skin for a really long time that makes my skin oily. I know, it's weird. I'm going to take a Q-tip and just wipe the foundation off of my lips. Don't really feel comfortable going all the way like makeupless. I did one time at work and I didn't get like any comments on it or anything, luckily, because I probably would have died. I usually do get comments like, oh, are you feeling okay? Like, are you sick? Apparently people think I look sickly when I don't wear any makeup, so this is kind of why I at least put this much effort in every day. Wow, I'm really not great at this whole tutorial thing. CoverGirl Lash Blast, no. Supersizer Fibers Mascara. This is the waterproof one. And it's in brown. Eyelash curler that I use is the Tweezerman, the pink one. For a while there, I was doing mascara on my top and bottom lashes, but then I realized that made me look like so much more tired. So on the daily basis, this is my makeup. I swear, this is all I've been doing. I feel like it makes me look put together enough that people don't think I'm a bum, but not like so put together that it looks like I try really hard every day, because I don't. I choose sleep over looks most of the time, so this is usually how I look. If I have time, I will throw on the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one's in light bronzer because I'm that pale. I use a big fluffy brush so I don't really have to worry about it being too concentrated. I can usually just throw this on and just get a little bit of definition on my cheeks. I will obviously bring that up onto my forehead too, just so that it is cohesive. And the reason I love this bronzer so much is because if I use like a big fluffy brush like this is a Jessup one, large powder brush by Jessup, I can usually just throw bronzer onto the perimeter of my face and my cheekbone here, and it will blend out nicely and look really natural. Then I'll just take like a large fluffy blending brush, take that same bronzer and just throw a little bit in my crease to give my eyes some definition. Just throwing this into your crease can really just bring out the color of your eyes, make your eyes just look bigger and more awake. I'm just going to take a slightly smaller blending brush. This one came with my smoky palette, the Urban Decay one. It comes to a nice taper so that I can just get right underneath my eyes. So yeah, I'll just put a little bit of that bronzer right underneath my eyes too. The very last thing I do is I use this lip exfoliator by e.l.f. It looks like this, and it's literally just like a little exfoliant in a liquid, or not liquid, in a lipstick form. So you just put it on your lips like normal. Make sure that you're putting a tiny amount, because the first couple times I used this, I hated it because I put way too much on and it just got everywhere. I was like, why would anyone use this? But now I kind of realize you're only supposed to use a little bit. So yeah, you just rub your lips together with this exfoliant on them, makes them nice and soft, it gets all your dead skin off of your lips, and preps them nicely for whatever you're going to put on them. I'll go in with a Q-tip again to get that off. Minimal makeup to improve your daily appearance. I'll usually just take like a pretty neutral pinky color and throw that on my lips. Okay guys, this is the completed, very bare minimum makeup look. I am going to go ahead and do my night transformation makeup over this makeup right now, so I will link that down below once it is up. I believe this one's going to go up first because that would only make sense. Just doing this daily, it really just helps my self-confidence. It makes me feel good about my appearance. That's really all that matters, as long as you feel good about yourself. So yeah, be sure to let me know if you like this video, or if you would rather me just do like voiceover ones next time. I totally get that. Alright guys, I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you really soon in my next video. Bye!